Hello, welcome to the Queue. Got a expansion set video for Historical Board Gaming's 1936 game. It is the Elite expansion for Germany and Russia. But before I get there, let me tell you about a disaster, nay, nightmare that happened yesterday. So let me set it up by telling you about what the disaster is about. I've got a map that I'm looking forward to printing, and the guy's doing the work on it, does excellent work, sends me the file, thinking great, I'll get to printing it, maybe next week. It's kind of a busy week, and I get closer to printing, and it's like, wait, stop, don't print. I've got some more updates. Cool. I love the more that you're adding to it. I love it. So I hold off, and then I'm out of town, and he says, all right, I think I got the final update to you. And I get home and I wait. I'm going to wait a week and see if anything else comes up. And it doesn't, so we're pretty much done. We're pretty sure we got the correct file to get the map printed. So I call the printer and send it off. And no problem, I say there's no problem. I'm going to print it on vinyl, and I'm not a big fan of vinyl. I do have some maps that I have won as prizes, and some people have given me that are on vinyl, and they're good. But when I've printed on vinyl myself, it's been a disaster. So I'm going to print them on vinyl. I'm printing two of them, a larger one, for my table, and then a regular, like out-of-box style map size. So I'm going to print them on vinyl, assuming that maybe there's going to be some, maybe next year they're going to change. And so it's the BBR map, and it has changed from version 2 to version 3. So that's why I don't want to spend the big dollars and get it on styrene, like my other maps that I treasure. So I'm getting it on vinyl, no big deal. The maps arrived yesterday, and I peek open the box, real excited, and I'm looking at the box, and it has a black border around the map. However, what the print shop has done is they've folded that black border onto the back and heat sealed it. Are you kidding me? So I'm looking at that's the first strike, and it's like, I don't like that at all. I want the black border on the map. It kind of makes it look cooler. So I pull it out of the box and I roll it out, and immediately, where they've heat sealed the whole border all the way around the map, you can tell they didn't heat seal it with the map extremely flat. So there are wrinkles all up and down it, and there is not a darn thing you can do to make that right. Are you kidding me? Kidding me? Are you kidding me? So after some panic, I start looking at the map to see if maybe somehow it can be salvaged. And as I'm looking at the big map, I'm seeing a convoy box, and I'm thinking maybe it's because I'm so mad I can't see straight, but no, I'm actually seeing double vision, because the convoy box and the territory next to it is printed twice, what they call in the printing world ghosting. So it's got two images, and then the one convoy box, 2 C zones away is perfect. What the? So it's like, whoa, what in the world now is going on? So I can't live with that, and I couldn't live with the wrinkles anyway. That's why I hate vinyl. So we go to the last thing wrong, and I notice across the top, and it's already at this point devastating because I've been looking so forward to this map. There is a black ink smear from Finland all the way across to not Serbia, Siberia. I don't know what to do at this point. After 2 heart attacks, I calmed down and called the printer. The good news is they can't understand why that was even shipped to me, blah, 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 you know, all the customer service speak. Bottom line is though, Monday, I'm going to get both maps replaced and in my possession. And hopefully the vinyl experiment on maps will go well. So, let's move on, because I'm already starting to feel some pain in my chest just talking about it. So let's go to the expansions, the German and Soviet elite units for Global War 36. Alright, so we'll look at the Soviet elite, well actually it's the elite of the Soviet Union first, but before I go there, there's one for Germany, one for the Soviet Union, and the expansion itself comes with these roundel style chips that you place, you know, under certain units, and I'm not a big fan of that. I actually have the Africa Corps set, expansion set, and we use those chips for that, for those units. We also use the expansion sometimes, trying to think of the name of it now, I'm losing it. It is a special operations expansion, and each one of those has a roundel style chip that you put under those units. So it signifies those, so it keeps them separate. With these though, I kind of have a different idea. Alright, well I had to pause that and redo what I was trying to shoot because that wasn't working. So I took some close-up pictures so you can see a little better instead of just the way it was coming out on the video was really bad. So I had to do a redo. So anyway, where I left off was the HBG has some mounted infantry, which, you know, they have sculpts for. So I've got that included, so I don't need the mountain chip. So I've added those to all the nations. Then they have militia, which they have 2 different really kinds that we're using for militia. There's an infantry with the at attention with the rifle on their shoulder, and then they're at attention there with the rifle on the ground. And I think that one with the ground is actually in the neutral section of the HBG pieces under Dutch infantry, I think. But that's what we're going to use. So we don't have to use the militia. We don't have to use the mountain markers underneath the pieces. We actually have the pieces, and as you can see, you know, in the units that I've already painted on the German side and stained, or in the gray. So you've got your regular infantry, you know, with that rifle pose, you know, that looks like they're in attack mode. And then you've got the militia, you know, right next to it, they're standing in attention. So easy to see by the unit if they're standing attention, they're militia. That's just the bottom line. So that's a lot easier for us than having the chips all over the board. Kind of want to reduce the clutter on the map, so to speak. So that's how we're doing that. So that leads into the elite here. So with all these chips, now we're getting back into all the different chips. So placed my order on HBG. You know, everyone likes this box showing up in the mail. Let me open that, and what we're going to do is we've got the Russians that I have stained, but for the elite of the Russians, we are going to use these red units. So I got the tanks, I got mechs, I got trucks, artillery, the Katyusha rockets for the advanced artillery. So I've got all this host, and I do have some red infantry that we currently are using for Japan and their veterans. So I think what I'm going to do is try and match this red and just paint some Russian infantry, you know, for the, what it is the Guards infantry. I don't know if you're familiar with World War II. You might be, since you're playing the game. But the Russians had units that were called the Guards units. And actually a new one here, Order of the Red Banner. I had not heard that name before. So I always love to learn. But the Guards units, kind of similar to the Germans, the SS units. They got better weapons, they got better food, better supplies, better boots. So they got like the cream of the crop of the military support. So the way this works is all these different Guards units, all the way from militia, infantry, cavalry, motorized, artillery, tanks. If you look at the chart, it kind of looks like it's all +1 for all that. So if your infantry is attacking at 1, now they're, or your militia, I should say, is attacking at 1, now a Guards infantry attacks at 2, and it's the same with the infantry. They're now attacking at 3, they're defending at 5, and they're a normal 2 and 4. So pretty straightforward on what the unit does. And like I said, it's going to be easy to tell your Guards unit by using the red sculpt there. And the way the Guards come on the board is similar to the Japanese veteran. If you win a battle as Russia, if it's in one of the annexed territories, and I think it excludes Finland, you get to place 1 unit in that attacking group that survived and took that territory. You get to trade it out. So if you've got, say, a regular infantry, and I don't have a regular Russian one here, you just take it off the board and put your red piece on to signify the Guards unit. For actual Russian home territories, at any time the Russians liberate one of those territories, they get to place 2 Guards units. One of them has to be infantry, so you can't start ramping up your tanks. So you can place 1 infantry and 1 tank. Just take them right off the board, put the Guards units right on. We've got the red sculpts, very easy to see, very easy to follow actually, when you're lining up your dice for the attack or defense. So I do like that. It's very simple. And there's some other things in here about history, and they actually have some bombers too, a couple there. And I think with the Russians, it is unlimited units. It just keeps cycling through. So that's pretty interesting. Now, the difference here with the Germans, the Third Reich, I gotta see if I got that in there lined up right. There we go. Flip back to the page. So they same thing, same chart. Militia, infantry, mountain cavalry, motorized, panzer grenadiers, and SS armor. And I know why they put that on the armor +1, because you got different kinds of armor. So you don't have to list out all the different kinds of armor, but for the most part, they're all +1, just from whatever they are. So with the Germans, the availability is similar to the Special Ops expansion set, in that it's based off events or time frame. Like here on January 39th, January 1939, not January 39th, there is no such thing. On the 39th, you get the 2nd SS Division. Now, it tells you what you get and where to place it. Now, if you really want to know this is the specific 2nd SS Division, then you're going to need the markers. But for us, it's just as well to place out, to take off the German gray tank and put on the black. I did not paint all of my units gray, so I'm going to use the black as the SS, which kind of makes sense. So that's how we're going to do it. But like I said, theirs isn't based off victories, although I do think some of them based off events, like any turn after Germany has declared war on Poland. Well, I guess they just declared war. They didn't actually win anything, but that's the gist of it. And it just kind of goes on based off events and year when you get them. Now, the interesting thing about these all is that for the Russians, it's free. Now, the downside is you have to win a battle and reclaim some territory that qualifies. So The Germans get them all over for different events. However, most of them you have to pay 1 IPP to get the upgrade. So, and you would, because it's increasing your attack and defense. Movement's not affected by any of these at all, but you want that, extra 1 hit, 1 pip, so to speak, on the dice. So you pay the 1 P. I think I did see, well, here's one here where you got to pay 3 IPP, and that may be a thing where you have to place a brand new unit. Some of these you're just replacing a unit. Say you're going to replace a German tank with a German SS tank division, then you would pay your 1 IPP, and put out your black tank versus the regular gray tank. So this expansion, we're going to play it shortly. I don't know when our next Global War 36 game is. It's at least a couple weeks away, but I think we're pretty much excited to play this. Who doesn't want those units that have just a little bit of extra punch? So we will get this played here, and I will let you know at some point how it goes, but just from looking at it and the way we're going to do it, I'm pretty excited about it. So until next time, keep rolling dice. What the?